What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gershwan!
And we're back at it to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. That is what old boy Rick Franklin did. He asks, can you choose to become a Space Marine? Good question. The answer is no. If you are a person, well, first let's explain real quick how Space Marines are even recruited. They are taken as adolescents, sometimes prepubescent children, if they have shown some type of, like, I wouldn't say honor, I would say like some type of savagery. If they have shown that they can kill or fight in a certain type of manner that's like more savage or gruesome than normal, basically children psychopaths, then they will be recruited by usually a chaplain. Mm-hmm. And keep that in mind, because that is kind of something that is really messed up if you think about it. A child has to like either kill a tribe, kill a monster, survive in the wilderness for X amount of time, and that will prove that he is worthy of becoming a Space Marine. It's kind of like the movie 300.
Yep.
And then once that is done, then they will then become a Space Marine. But you can't just choose like I want my kid to be a Space Marine. Let's give him up to these space gods.
Right. It varies slightly from chapter to chapter, but pretty much that's the whole thing. Especially with Fenris. If you're like the baddest warrior from your tribe, most likely the Sky Warriors will come to your tribe and pick that guy up.
Yep, and that reminds me of like within Fenris, sometimes it's the ones that died. Mm-hmm. So you could actually be a child who just like had your tribe raided, and you're the last surviving person. And you fought really like to the last, and you're dead. The chaplain will come, resurrect the child just to see maybe he's gonna be a good space or a good space wolf. He throws you out there. With the Ultramarines actually do have families that know what a Space Marine is, and their goal is, or it's seen as a huge honor to have their Space Marine or their children become Space Marines.
It's usually the nobility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But even in those situations, no matter how rich, no matter how powerful your family is, the chances of the child becoming a Space Marine is not guaranteed. Right. They still have to go through the trials. They have to go through everything that a normal neophyte or acolyte, I can't remember which one's which, goes through.
Yeah, and like the percentage of people surviving the trials to actually make it to get the implants is very low, and then actually getting the implants and surviving is even lower. So just because you're the best fighter doesn't mean you're going to be a Space Marine. You can die in a trial, you can die in the implantation process, so...
Yep, they do psycho testing too. Mm-hmm. The librarian will actually go into the mind of the child and like try to mess with it, try to tempt it, to see if it would turn to chaos. I'm going to redo the recruitment video, the Space Marine recruitment video, because I think it's like, well, it's an older video and our technique is a little better now. But yeah, like it's a huge process, and I was thinking about this the other day because they had a Star Wars role-playing game, or not a role-playing game, but it was like one of those open world games where you can choose to become like a Jedi, and everybody would choose to become a Jedi. I forget what it's called. So if Warhammer ever had anything like that, if there was a 40K version of that, everybody would want to play a Space Marine, but I think it would be really cool to show just how the odds are stacked against you that you would become a Space Marine, that you have to go through like a whole like tutorial trial that's extremely hard, and only like 10% can actually become Space Marines and go out and do things online as Space Marines. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be really cool. Another kind of the other side of the coin, so to speak, would be Psykers. Psykers are another way to actually become a Space Marine without having to go through well, they still go through the trials, but not in the more practical sense, because you're taken by the black ships, and it's more like psychic and warp and all that stuff.
Yeah. You are at a huge advantage. You say advantage if you are a Psyker, but no, because if you're a Psyker, you're kind of screwed.
You're almost worse off as a Psyker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you get on the Black Ship, your chances of actually becoming a Space Marine librarian are even thinner than becoming just a regular Space Marine. Yeah. You're probably just going to get sacrificed to the Emperor.
Chances are.
Yeah. It's hard out there for everybody in 40K.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by Oni. Do blanks have souls?
No, blanks do not have souls. That's their whole thing.
Yeah. And that's why people feel so like uncomfortable around them. Because of their aura of soullessness.
Aura. Next question comes from Robert Hasdowns Jr. What's the most outlandish piece of lore you've read besides the Tau being a threat? Damn, shots fired.
The orcs being a threat.
They are. The orcs are like the archetype
they are.
bad guys.
No matter where orcs are in any setting of fantasy, they're a threat.
Yeah, even in that one like Jumanji sequel.
There are orcs in that?
Not Jumanji, but the other one, the space one. What is it called?
What the heck?
You've never seen that?
What am I missing?
There was it was a couple years ago. I can't remember the name of the movie, but basically it's Jumanji in space. They have a special board.
Oh,
what is it called?
I know what you're talking about. Zathura or
something like that. Yeah. But even that, they had these like lizard creatures, basically orcs, 40K orcs. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They had orcs, or an orc archetype. They had those giant like.
I haven't seen that movie.
It's okay. It has Mos Def in it, which is cool.
Oh. What an interesting
tangent.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
What? I had it.
What's the weirdest lore that you've read?
There you go.
What do you got?
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of weird things. I don't know what the weirdest would be, but I always thought the cherubim were weird.
Cherubim, yeah. I can't say it. Little flying babies.
Robot babies.
Yeah, that is weird.
I mean, I get it. It's gothic, grimdark. Yeah, but still weird. Mm-hmm. Creepy.
I'd go with the same for now because I can't think of anything. Next question.
Tyler Blaze.
Okay.
Which Primarch would each of you prefer to make their return to the Imperium? And which do you think is most likely to return in the current lore or timeline?
Based on how Gilliman is being played on the tabletop, I hope that they bring back somebody badass like Vulcan or what's his name? Lehman Russ. Because both of those two are extremely melee oriented. And it would be cool to have a Primarch that you're not scared to get shot at. Mm-hmm. Like, just throw him out there and just see him, like, bash through a bunch of infantry. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Who do you think's actually the next in line to come out?
Either the Lion or Sanguinius.
Yeah, same. I feel like Lionel Johnson would probably be the next one out, but I really want Sanguinius to come out. Which I know that won't happen because he literally just came out in Forge World, and they want to sell that model before you get invested into the 40K version. Yeah. But Sanguinius, so you can fly.
I have somebody just commenting, his name's Outlier07. Yo, you watch RuneSmith? What a crossover. RuneSmith is really, it's a really cool YouTube channel. If you guys are into D&D, check it out. It's funny, entertaining, and he just came out with a Giants video, like the Giants of D&D. I didn't know their lore was that complex. Like they have different gods that they pray to. I used that video to influence a campaign that I'm going to be running probably next week. And but yeah, next question.
I got one. By Yubel Breu. Do any of the Chaos Gods like each other? Like, I know they have hateful relationships via like Nurgle and Tzeentch. But is there actually a chance that two of them might get together for something other than killing?
Usually it's not just two. Usually it's all four, and they all get together and they like empower some type of creature. They did that to Lorgar. They did that to, is it Be'lakor?
Yeah, no. Be'lakor.
Oh, Be'lakor, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Horus.
Horus. Abaddon.
Mm-hmm.
So they do team up.
Yeah. And like you said, they empower each other. Like, do you, boo? I like that red on you.
Yeah. Next question comes from FakingIt66. Could one Chaos God kill, consume, or assassinate another Chaos God? They're trying, but I think they're so massive that no. And they're powered by emotions that are not going to go away. It's not like if Nurgle... Well, no, we'll do two rivals. If Slaanesh finally destroys Khorne, it's not like war and blood is going to disappear from the world. It's going to continue. Mm-hmm. Rage is still going to fuel him, so he won't technically ever die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a wheel. You kill one, but then they'll get like revived. And with Chaos, it's weird because like they're timeless beings, and it's stated that they always were and they never will be. But then there's births of them, and like it doesn't make sense. But it's the warp. We're not supposed to comprehend it.
It's insane in the membrane.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Darth Hunter. What kind of damage do Noise Marine weapons do versus humans? And how does it affect Space Marines?
Usually ruptures organs via sound waves.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the original Incredible Hulk... No, well, I shouldn't say the original. The Incredible Hulk with...
Bruce Banner? Or Norman?
Norman. That guy. They use like sound technology. They have them on top of a tank, and they shoot out like waves, and you could actually see them, and they angle it in a way to hold down the Hulk, and the Hulk is basically just being pushed down, but then he ends up exploding and killing everything. But kind of like that, but scarier.
Yeah.
Next question.
The big one. How does the Imperium spread news and propaganda to ordinary people? Are there still TVs, radios, newspapers, etc.?
Yep.
Yeah, all that and more.
There's Vox signals.
Yeah. If you have like mechanical implants or cybernetics, there's probably like radio waves.
Chip, yeah, like a chip on your... Like in Black Mirror, where this season's theme was like those little chips that either you implant on the top of your head or like on the side, and then they just transmit stuff to your brain. So yeah.
But yeah, you got your posters, stuff like that.
There's a really cool... there's a lot of templates online that you can get of like recruiting posters and stuff like that for the Imperium. Mm-hmm. For the traditional stuff. Yeah. Last question. That's way too long. This one's by Doominator407. Do a 40 facts on the different plagues of Nurgle, please. If you check out our 40 facts on the Plague Marines, we already did that. Because each Plague Marine... This is the Death Guard I'm talking about. So it actually might be the 40 facts on the Death Guard. So check out the 40 facts on the Death Guard, and what you're going to see is that each individual successor warband of the Death Guard is designed for a certain plague of Nurgle. Yeah, we covered that there. Each plague does a little different thing, and it kind of incorporates a certain thing to the warband. So. Yeah.
Also, I think there's a 40 facts on like the zombies of Nurgle. That's another plague.
Yeah, I want to redo that video because there's a interesting Oro that I learned about over the weekend that's specifically geared for killing zombies.
Yeah, which is pretty badass.
Yeah. Anyways, those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions, comment down below. Thanks for watching.
I am the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.